Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. The Milwaukee Bucks are not trading Giannis, so it looks like the Giannis sweepstakes are officially over. Shams reported 15 minutes ago that the Bucks are not going to be trading him, and it looks like they could possibly be shutting him down for the year so they can tank, which I think is ridiculous if the NBA allows them to shut down Giannis when he's healthy. Right now, apparently he's not with the calf injury, but Giannis is not going to get traded, and I think it makes sense that the Bucks are going to wait to the offseason so they can get more offers, and teams like the Heat who missed out can theoretically offer a better package. They're going to have more draft capital during the summertime because of the step-in rule. So I'm not going to lie, though, it's disappointing because the Heat had an opportunity. We were one of the top teams that were potentially going to acquire Giannis by the deadline, and I'm happy it happened at least 3 hours before the deadline because now I don't have to refresh Twitter like it's a full-time job. But still, terrible news to start the day. And just because the Giannis trade isn't happening doesn't mean there's not going to be drama and other headlines that could possibly happen. So you honestly don't know. We still have a few hours left before the deadline. And yeah, I'm just disappointed and upset that the Miami Heat have to compete with a ton of other teams in the offseason. But what I'm not disappointed in is that we could still play Underdog Fantasy. And I do want to give them a quick shout out because they are today's sponsor. And unlike these Giannis rumors, which have been disappointing, Underdog Fantasy is never disappointing because all you have to do is pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, assists, steals, whatever you want. And if you get those picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your money, which is absolutely insane. And this week on Underdog, personally, I'm going to pick Wemby and Cooper Flack to go higher on their points. So if you download the Underdog Fantasy app today and you use promo code TEAM2BEAT, you will get $75 in bonuses after playing your first $5. And seriously, by using the promo code TEAM2BEAT, you're going to be helping me out a ton. That supports me directly. It helps supports the channel. So I really appreciate you guys for that. That's promo code TEAM2BEAT. Underdog Fantasy. Make your picks. Win some money. All right, let's get back into the episode. So Giannis is not coming to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have to pivot. And so what are the Miami Heat's options now? One, they could try to trade for John Morant. They've been linked to John Morant, and he is potentially going to get traded by the deadline. It makes sense that he would because the team has already gutted their roster. They've gotten rid of Desmond Bane. They got rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. a couple days ago. And the writing is on the wall. It looks like John Morant is going to get traded either today or during this off season. And the Miami Heat have been linked. It's a destination that Ja wants to play for, basically. It's the only team it seems like he wants to play for. So the next step after missing out on Giannis, if the Miami Heat like their team, which they always seem to do, they're not going to tank. They're not going to be sellers, in my opinion, even though I think they should be a seller for the first time in a long time. They could go after Ja and add him for cheap. If they can get him for Terry Rozier and Fontecchio, maybe a second-round pick, then yeah, sure, if you want to compete and try to compete in a week in East, do that. But does he make sense long-term? Do you want to extend him? Does he fit next to Tyler Hero and Norman Powell? I don't know, but can he help Bam Adebayo? I think yes. Has he been sandbagging it and not motivated? I think that's the case. He's only 26 years old, so I wouldn't be upset, but I don't think it's the ideal move. I think the ideal move that the Miami Heat should do by the deadline is add more assets so we can get Giannis in the summertime. Because we're going to compete with teams like the Thunder possibly, the Rockets possibly, the Spurs, the Knicks, whoever, the Lakers even, who are going to have more draft capital than we do. And potentially players that the Bucks would want over players that we currently have. And in order to compete with those teams, if you truly have been waiting and wanting to get Giannis and we missed out now because the Milwaukee Bucks wanted to wait, which I understand, then you do everything in your power to try to trade Wiggins and get a first-round pick. So that way, this summer, we have 5 first-round picks that we can offer, not just 4. Trade Norman Powell, possibly. We can get a first-round pick. He's 32 years old. He's on an expiring contract. Are we going to extend him? I wouldn't be upset if we did, but I wouldn't want to give him much more than the 20 he's making this year. So I would give him a 2-year, $55 million deal. So he's making like 27 per year. I don't want to give him $35 million at age 33, 34. So why not trade Norman Powell? Also, trade both of these guys, get first round picks for both of them. You get two. That is ultimately what's going to help you get Giannis. So those are the moves that I would do. I would also try to add good players on this roster. If you do again want to compete, instead of John Morant, do what the T Wolves did today. They got Io from the Bulls for a second round pick, and Rob Dillingham, who was basically not even really in the rotation, not even really contributing. If you can add a player like that for cheap onto this roster, because the Heat never want to tank, all they want to do is compete. Making like small moves like that, in my opinion, could be beneficial. But otherwise, try to get off the Tyler Heroes. You're not going to extend him. Get 2 first-round picks if he's even worth that at this point. Try to get a pick for Wiggins. Try to get Norm off this team and get a pick. I don't dislike these players, but what are we doing? We just lost to the Hawks. We lost to the Bulls last week. We've lost to the Kings. We've lost to the Mavs. We only beat the mediocre teams. Yes, we have some nice wins here and there against the Pistons or the Nuggets, but it doesn't mean anything because we're not going to compete. The Cavs have gotten better, even with this Harden trade. I think it's a crazy move, but still, the Cavs have been a lot better. The Knicks have gotten a lot better. The Raptors are better than us. Like, what are we really doing? We're just stuck in the middle. We're not going to get a good lottery pick. We're going to get a freaking pick in the 15 to 25 range like we normally do. So, what are we doing here? Like, I think those are the 3 paths. You either get Ja, say screw it, let's try to add him as another star that we could rehabilitate and build him up again. You either do that or you trade off your pieces to get a war chest of assets to get Giannis in the summer, or you do a couple incremental small moves and get like young, good players on this roster. I don't know. There's rumors that we're talking to the Pacers right now. Can we somehow get Siakam on this team? That would be a dream. If not, can we get Mathurin on this team? I don't know what we need to do at this point, but it's, again, frustrating that we missed out on Giannis. But again, it's not the Miami Heat's fault. It is in the best interest of the Mavs or the Bucks to wait until the offseason to see other teams get desperate, have different types of assets they can offer in the summertime to get Giannis. So that's all I have for this episode. Kind of frustrated, but the Miami Heat still have 2 hours plus to make some sort of deal, to make some sort of move, to either be a buyer or a seller. We'll see what the hell they do. I can't predict it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.